Hot Water by Cassie Carnage. When are you coming home? In a few days. Why? I don't trust that refurbished water heater the landlady got installed. It's making funny noises. What kinds of noises are you hearing? Hissing? Whistling? Knocking? I don't know. All of them? Hugh sighed. Addie, the water heater is fine. But it's refurbished. Maybe they didn't do a thorough job repairing it. It was tested prior to installation. It's fine. By the time I get back, you'll be so used to the sounds it makes that you won't even notice them. I hope so. Look, I have to go. The meeting's about to start. Gotta run. Love you, he said and hung up. I set my cell phone down and sighed. Edwina, get a grip. It's just a water heater. If I had a choice, I would have gotten a new one, but it wasn't our decision to make. This was a rental house. The landlady had to pay to get the water heater replaced, and she went with the cheapest fix possible. The whole idea of living with an old patched-up water heater wasn't something I was comfortable with, but Hugh thought it was great. He loved recycled crap. He said that it had character. Character my ass. I swear if that thing explodes, I'm going to sue her. I grabbed the dirty laundry basket and trudged downstairs. I turned on the bare light bulb, and the pull chain swung, hitting the light bulb with a soft tinking sound. I took one of the spare baskets and sorted clothes, tossing Hugh's clothes in first. I didn't need him coming back and getting all pissy because his shirts weren't dry. Hey, everyone has their pet peeves. His are damp shirts. Go figure. I tossed in the soap and slammed the lid. Just as I went to hit the start button, someone whispered behind me. Help me. Who's there? I asked and turned around. My heart was racing, and I tried to slow my breathing so that I could listen for the sound. Over here, the whisper said. It was coming from the direction of the water heater closet. It's not really a closet, more like a rickety little partition made out of plywood, with a cheap door slapped on and held shut with a slide lock, like the ones they put on bathroom stalls. I unlocked the door and opened it, expecting to see someone lying on the floor bleeding to death. Instead, all I saw was the water heater, just sitting there, happily burbling away. Stop freaking out. It's just a stupid water heater. I pressed my hand against it. It wasn't hot. It wasn't overboiling. Those whispers, they were just my imagination. That's all. A little while later, I went to wash dishes and turned on the tap. I waited for the hot water to run, but it didn't get hot. I let it run for 5 minutes and checked it. The water was ice cold. The pilot light on the water heater went out. Again. I grabbed the extra long matches and went downstairs. Stupid thing. Our cheap-ass landlady, she was the one that bought it. I should call her and make her come over here and relight it every time it goes out. I stepped over to the little closet. The door's clasp was undone. Before I could touch it, the door slowly swung open. Okay, that's weird. I know I locked it. I wiped my sweaty palms on my pants and knelt in front of the water heater, near the small port of the pilot light. I fumbled opening the box of matches and dropped it. The long stick matches fell out and rolled under the water heater. Damn it! I tried to stick my hand under it, but it wouldn't fit. I swiped a wire hanger from the closet and bent it into a thin line, then used it to scoop the matches out from under the water heater. Gotcha, you bastards. There's no escape now, I said as I put all but one back into the box. I held up my sacrificial victim. Accept your fate and go to your doom, I said and lit it. I held it to the pilot light hole and reignited it, then waved the flame out. As I stood, I noticed that the warning sticker on the heater had bubbled up and was lifting off. The corner of the sticker was bent over and didn't adhere to it properly. I peeled the sticker off to reveal an odd symbol. Crisscrossing each other near the ends at sharp angles were 5 intersecting spiked lines. It looked like a snowflake from hell. The symbol was stamped onto a metal plate that was soldered to the side of the heater tank. Okay, that definitely doesn't belong there. I knew there was something fishy about this thing. I took a picture of it with my phone, and as I went to do an internet search for similar pictures, the battery dropped from half full to dead. What the hell? Stupid phone? It had been giving me problems ever since we moved here. I probably needed to buy a new battery for it or something. I ended up taking a pencil and making a rubbing of the etching on a piece of paper. Then I scanned it into my computer and used an image search to see if I could find it online. Japanese kanji, Chinese, Russian, nothing matched. The closest image I got was something written in Sanskrit. However, none of the websites on the subject had anything even close to what it looked like. The other suggestions in the search results brought up an obscure book titled Ancient Sanskrit Symbolism and Its Meanings. After a few hours scrolling through poor scans of book pages, I found a match for the sigil on my water heater. It was an ancient Sanskrit symbol used in ceremonies for resurrecting the dead. According to legend, to bring a man back from the dead, another must take his place. However, if the ceremony is interrupted, both men's souls will be trapped in the bones of the deceased, and the living man's body will wander the earth until its soul is returned. Bizarre. Maybe the person who fixed the water heater could explain why it had an old magic symbol attached to it, and what they were planning on doing with it. I looked at the sticker. The phone number for the installation company was on it. I called them on the house phone and got an automated response from the operator. We're sorry. The number you are trying to reach is no longer in service. Strange. I thought the landlady just bought that thing a few weeks ago. I typed the phone number into the search bar, got the address, and decided to head over there. It was possible that they changed their phone number and didn't put that on their company stickers. At least, I hoped that was what happened. The building looked like it had been abandoned for years. The storefront was all boarded up. Okay, now this is getting really weird. I parked my car and walked around to the back door, trying to figure out how to break into the place, and I saw that the door was sitting slightly ajar in the frame. I grabbed the tire iron from the trunk and pried the door open. After much pushing, it gave way and I slipped forward. The tire iron hit my shoulder and I dropped it. Ow! Smooth. Real smooth there, I said and rubbed my shoulder. That's going to bruise. I stepped inside, then double-checked to see if the door had been wired with an alarm system. To my surprise, it wasn't. I started poking around in the old dusty store. There were no remaining employee files in the office, even though it looked like the owner just up and left the place. There were tools everywhere. Everything was covered in dust. Several old water heaters lined the walls. All of them had the same strange stamped plates on them. One heater tank had the top cut off. Hello, what's this? I pulled over a chair from the office and stood on it to see what was inside. My flashlight beam hit white bone. There was a neat stack of human bones topped with a skull sitting at the bottom of the tank. Holy shit! No wonder we had water problems. There were bones in our water heater. What kind of business was this? A dumping ground for a hit squad? Damn, that'd be a slow and dirty way to get rid of evidence. Boiling flesh off bones and hiding them in water heaters. I bet the owners ran into trouble with the police and hightailed it before they got caught. I can't wait to tell Hugh. He isn't going to believe this. I was so absorbed in my thoughts, I didn't hear anyone walk up behind me. You shouldn't have come here, the landlady said. Startled, I slipped off the chair and landed hard on my side. What are you doing here? I asked and staggered to my feet. I was going to ask you the same question. I turned around to see a baseball bat coming straight towards my face, just before it hit me square on the eyes with a loud crack. My legs crumbled and I fell, seeing stars, tasting blood. You just couldn't leave this well enough alone, could you? Now I have to get rid of you, too. I reached out, trying to grab something to throw at her. I couldn't see. Too much blood in my eyes. Oh, just stay down, she said, and hit me again. Everything went black. Addie! Addie! Wake up! I lifted my head and blearily looked around. My eyes were swollen. I could only see a sliver out of my right eye. What? Who? You have to get out of here before she comes back. Hugh? I crawled towards his voice on a cold, hard floor and stopped when my hand touched his leg. Why are you on the floor? Are you hurt? Bitch shoved me down the stairs when I came home. Legs are broke. My arm, too. Hugh, I think she's been killing people and hiding their remains in water heaters. He sighed. I'm not going to even start with how ridiculous that sounds. But it's true. The landlady is a psycho. I told you that moving into this rental house was a horrible idea. Yeah, you did. You win this time, Addie. I don't feel like I win. Listen, I can't see well, but I'm going to try to drag you out of here. Okay. I grabbed him under the armpits and dragged him toward the stairs. He cried out in pain. Stop! Stop! This isn't going to work, he said, panting. Where's your phone? I asked. I left it on the counter, but the battery's dead. It won't recharge. I was trying to call you when I got here. I thought that I heard you downstairs, so I went to the stairwell to look, and that's when she shoved me. I'll try the neighbors. Maybe someone is home. Hurry. I don't know when she'll be back. I will. He grabbed my hand and squeezed it. I love you. Love you too. I scrambled up the stairs, tripping over myself. I could barely see through a crack out of one of my eyes. But right then, all I cared about was getting Hugh the hell out of there. I made it to the top of the stairs when I heard her voice. Where do you think you're going? She asked and kicked my knee out from under me. I stumbled back, tried to grab the railing, but my hands wouldn't work, and I went head over heels down the stairs and slammed onto the concrete floor. Hugh screamed, You bitch! I'll kill you! The landlady walked down the stairs and stood by me. Oh, no, you won't. You're not going to be killing anyone. Soon you'll both be dead. I remembered the book. Hugh, she's going to kill us to bring back someone else in a magic ceremony. That's not possible. Magic isn't real, he said. The old magic is. You'll see soon enough. She grabbed me by the hair and tied me and Hugh to the water heater with thick jute rope. I watched her as she laid down black candles, stones, and finger bones in a strange pattern. She muttered alien words that made my hair stand on end. An electric tingle filled the air, and the candle flame turned blue. Jesus Christ! Hugh cried. Not even close, she said. The water heater grew hot. I tried to pull away, and somehow my left hand slipped out of the ropes. I felt around for the knot, but couldn't find it. Hugh roared and pulled against the ropes with all of the strength he had left, giving me enough room to slip my head and chest down and out of the ropes. I fell forward and caught myself before hitting my head on the floor. My feet were still tied together and were attached to the rope that held Hugh fast to the tank. The landlady chanted. Blue light swirled around her. Her voice changed, deepening and booming with power as she conjured up ancient forces to resurrect the body in the water heater tank. A bone-chilling moan of pain and anguish resonated from inside it. I struggled to pull my feet free. The ropes dug into my ankles. I screamed and yanked my feet out, burning them on the coarse jute ropes. The landlady was chanting the same words over and over again. Her body started to glow blue. The light was so bright that I could see her silhouette through my swollen eyelids. The crackling energy in the air coalesced into a silver-white light and raced in a circle around her. I ran and slammed into her, but I was too late. The energy swooped and poured into Hugh's body. He screamed as a silver ball of light ripped out of his body and flew into the water heater tank. "No!" I screamed and slammed her head into the floor as hard as I could. She grabbed my arms with glowing hands and seared my skin, burning her handprints into them. We kicked over candles and rocks and piles of tiny finger bones as we struggled. I grabbed her throat and squeezed hard and didn't let go. If she couldn't breathe, she couldn't speak. She thrashed under me, her face red. She was kicking, clawing, fighting for air, and I didn't let go. After a few moments, she shuddered and went limp. Her lips and face were blue. She wasn't breathing. I killed her. The energy in the air died down, and all was quiet. I knelt there, panting, not letting go of her throat until her windpipe collapsed under my grip, just to be sure that she was dead. Then I crawled over and searched for the rope knots and undid them. Hugh remained standing in place like he was stuck to the water heater. I stood up and hugged him. He was breathing. His body was warm. But he was just standing there, staring at nothing, like he was in a trance. "Hugh?" He turned to look at me with empty eyes. "Are you okay? Talk to me. Hugh!" No response. "What did she do to you?" Sobbing, I dropped to the floor. He stepped away from the water heater. A hole had burned through his shirt, the symbol seared into his back. He tried to walk, but his legs snapped. The bones stuck out of his pants at a sick angle. He passively looked down and shoved it back in with a loud crack. Then he turned and looked at me. "What did that book say? If the spell wasn't done right, it'd... Oh, dear God! No, it can't be!" With a shaking hand, I touched the water heater tank. "Edwina," Hugh whispered. I pulled my hand away. Hugh stood there, empty, face slack, no emotion, no passion left in his once fierce eyes. I touched the water heater again. "Addie, help me!" he cried. His voice echoed inside the metal water heater tank. "I will get you out of there. I promise," I said, and stepped over to his body. "Pick up the bitch." His body obeyed my command. "Follow me," I said, and he followed me out of the house. "So, as you can see, this is a real fixer-upper," I said to the young couple. "The water heater was replaced with a refurbished model, but it works just fine." "Is it safe to use?" the man asked. "Of course. Why not come downstairs and take a look at it for yourself?" "Sure." They headed down, and I opened the door to the room. Hugh's soulless, animated body stood in the shadowed corner, just out of sight. I shut the door and walked them over to it. "The water heater was repaired last year, but it works good." "It looks brand new," the woman said. "They did an excellent job," I said, and picked up the baseball bat I left leaning against the wall. "Hugh, grab her," I said, and they looked at me and frowned. "Who's Hugh?" the woman asked. "That's Hugh," I said, as his arms wrapped around her and squeezed. "Let her go," the man said, and punched Hugh in the face, but it didn't affect him. Frightened, the man ran for the stairs, where I was waiting for him. I hit him in the head with the bat, and he crumpled to the floor, moaning. The woman wept. "What are you going to do to us?" she asked through tears. "Simple. I'm going to get Hugh's soul back, one sacrifice at a time, starting with you." "But how?" "With old magic," I said as I tied her man up. "It's the only kind that's real."